All right, today we're gathering with Carlos King, reality TV producer extraordinaire, host of Reality with the King, and someone that people honestly constantly message me about having back on the podcast because they love when we link up. So, Carlos, welcome back to Gathering with Gib. How are you?
I'm good, Gibson. How you
I've
been?
been good. Having a good summer?
I am actually. I am. I
Good.
am. So far, so good. No complaints. What about you?
It's been good. Yeah, lots of travel, but now I'm in New York for the month of August, so I'm excited to
Good.
have a little too much fun.
Have fun, Gibson. You only live
Yeah,
once,
I
child.
agree with that. All right, so you're going to be doing the state of the every Real Housewives franchise with me. So we're going to run through each of the franchises and just share our thoughts, what's working, what's not, what we're liking, what we're expecting. Um, so I mean, and you're the expert, so I'm excited to hear your thoughts. You don't hold back.
I don't. Well, neither do you. And I think that's the reason why a lot of people love when we are on each other's podcast because we don't always agree. And that's,
Hmm.
I always think that's fun when you can have like respectful disagreements.
I
So,
totally agree.
yeah. So, no, I'm
Okay.
looking forward to this
Okay, good.
conversation.
All right, so let's start with the ones that are airing. Real Housewives of Orange County. What are your thoughts so far on this season?
Oh, I love OC. I think
Yeah, me too.
OC is having a great season thus far. Their last two seasons have been the best in a very long time. It's the first Real Housewives to me that has had in recent years two consecutive great seasons.
Mm.
This season's off to a great start as well. I am loving this season. Katie is an enigma that fascinates me in a way that I just can't stop watching her and her web of lies. But I'm here for it. I love the
So
show.
do you think that Katie's like a full on liar?
Is water wet? Like
Uh,
she's
my
a
read.
liar.
I mean,
Like
I agree that she's lied about a lot, but I think that it's more a reflection of her getting way too in deep quick on like what she thought you're supposed to do as a housewife, and she completely misread the situation. You know what I mean? But she can't own up to it, and that's the issue for sure.
yeah, no, listen, I think she unfortunately, and I gave her some grace being a first season housewife, when, of course, last season.
Right.
And obviously, everything she did last season is the storyline for this season. She made all the mistakes that all first season reality stars make, which is you read the comments, you befriend the bloggers who mask themselves
Hmm.
as your fans, only to expose you when they have to. So she is going through that. I wish she would own up more to it. The moment she gets her hand caught in the cookie jar,
Hmm.
she has to process, do I tell the truth now? And then she runs home to Matt. He encourages her, in my opinion, to tell the truth. And then in the next dinner scene, she's like, I thought about it some more, and I did call the blogger. I didn't realize I did that.
Hmm.
You're a
Yeah.
liar.
Yeah. It's like show us the messages at when they asked you for them at the lunch at the first place. You know what I mean? Or like it's yeah, that's also an issue. It's like just own up to it. Like I would have much more respect for it if it was just like, yeah, I did talk to Bravo Babe. Yeah, I did talk to Kiki Monique. And yeah, like and then the to me though, the worst thing is the recording. The recording of Shannon is just like such a like, why are we doing that? You know?
Yeah, and listen, what's so funny to me is this, and that's why I never pay attention to like what's popular on social media, because if Tamara Judge did 1% of
Hmm.
what Katie has admitted to doing, she would really be called Tam Rat, right? Because she would be ratting out her friends. If Tamara Judge recorded Shannon's outburst,
Oh.
come on. But Katie does, and it's like, well, who cares? No, Katie is a liar, and Katie is having a bad season. But because Katie is new, the audience is going to give her some sort of grace because they hate Tamara so much. They hate
Hmm.
the rest of the cast except Shannon. Shannon can do no wrong in the eyes of social media, honey.
It's interesting,
So,
right? Hmm.
oh, it blows my mind.
So there is a stat that's been making the rounds on Twitter in the past couple of days. I don't know if you've seen it, but somebody pointed out that Emily and Gina have been on OC longer than Dorinda was on New York, which is just kind of a crazy thing to think about because it gets into the impact versus longevity conversation. What do you think of Emily and Gina right now in this season?
No, what do you think, Gibson? Because your shady behind reposted it, and that's how I saw it.
Okay, valid. Hit it back to me.
I,
Lob it back to me.
I want to hear from you.
Yeah.
When I saw that on your page, Gibson, I said, Gibson is so shady, and I'm
Well,
living
it's
for it.
wild. Okay, so here's the thing. I've never been like as anti Emily and Gina as like a lot of the fans seem to have been for a very long time.
Hmm.
Because I appreciate that, like, if you really think about it, they have been sort of like a needed constant a little bit through like the past like kind of tumultuous eras of OC. You know what I mean? But like
Hmm.
when you think about them being on longer than Dorinda, it's like, okay, but like what have your memorable moments been? Like Dorinda had her batting average in terms of a memorable moment every episode. You know what I mean? Three per episode. And I could name 100 one-liners of Dorinda's, and I don't think I can name one of Gina or Emily's. You know, so but at the same time, I guess that not every housewife needs to be that kind of housewife. I don't know.
Right.
Like they don't take away from the show. In my eyes, I think they take away from the show in other people's eyes.
Yes, no, for sure. Listen, is what you said. Not every housewife is iconic, and that word is overused. Iconic,
Mm-hmm.
like the word accountability.
Ah,
Is
uh-huh.
like, can you guys retire the word accountability because you guys have no idea what it means? You just don't. You have no idea what it means, and some of you guys have no idea what the word iconic means. So look, Dorinda is iconic.
Mm-hmm.
Like Dorinda Medley is iconic. We have a medley, pun intended, of moments that we could have a replay
Oh yeah.
of Queen Dorinda. Okay, Dorinda is magnificent in every way imaginable when it comes to reality star. Not just a housewife, a reality star. Now, when it comes to Gina and Emily, when they first debuted as a collective, because they both came on the same season,
Mm-hmm.
I instantly was in love with them because I thought they provided some freshness to the cast. Now, I'm very honest. A couple of seasons after their debut, um, was kind of wonky in terms of finding their footing. I
Mm-hmm.
felt they were struggling to find their place
I
in
agree.
the world of OC. Again, they were born into housewives at the height of Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Dorinda wasn't. The
Mm-hmm.
greats, if you think about the most iconic housewives, Teresa Giudice, Nene Leakes, Bethany Frankel, Dorinda, the list goes, Kenya Moore. They're pre-social media. So I always gave Gina, Emily some grace, but what I will say is for the past two seasons, especially the past two seasons, I think Gina and Emily have earned their position on the show, and I cannot see OC without them.
I think that's an accurate statement. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that it's like they can for good or for better or for worse, they can sort of blow with the wind. You know, they go
Mm-hmm.
here, they go there. They've been aligned with everybody at this point, but it works for me. It kind of works for me. I do think that Emily's having a rougher season in terms of how she's kind of coming across as sort of a little bit bullying to Katie and how she's sort of, especially after last year's reunion. But like I think that they deserve to be there and they've earned their keep.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Last question for you about OC. Gretchen versus Alexis conversation in terms of like Alexis came in last season as a friend, one season, and she's gone. Didn't go well for her. Gretchen's here this season. What do you make of her and how it compares to Alexis's time on the show last year?
For the record, I love Gretchen. I'm a Gretchen fanatic.
Okay.
Um, let's be very clear. When Gretchen came on the Real Housewives of OC, I think season 304. I hope I got that right. Baby, Gretchen came in and stormed that
Mm-hmm.
show. To
Mm-hmm.
have the quintessential beautiful blonde, young with the older, silver hair guy was everything we wanted to see with Anna Nicole Smith, the late great Anna Nicole Smith, and
Yeah.
right, and her husband. So Gretchen's iconic for sure. I will say this, and of course, as of today's taping, we're like 4 episodes into the new season. Gretchen hasn't reached the level of iconicness so
Mm-hmm.
far,
I agree.
right? Maybe it'll come later, but we're talking about the first 4 episodes. I haven't seen anything yet. Let's get one thing straight. Love her or hate her. Alexis Bellino came in last season, first episode, and her and
Guns
Shannon,
blazing.
honey, her and Shannon gave us an
She did.
iconic scene. There's a door, Shannon Bador, get out of here. It's the reason why I will always say this, Gibson. Social media killed the reality star because I don't understand why we're not seeing Alexis again this season. I understand that the audience didn't like her. I get it because they love Shannon. Fine, who cares? Um, Alexis brought ratings. She brought drama. She brought a level of comedy. You know, my favorite scene of last season OC, and I recorded this on my phone, watching it on my TV
Okay.
screen last season. Do you remember? I believe they were at Heather's house. Maybe not her house. Whatever. It's when Emily like got into it with Alexis, and
Yes.
they're like in the kitchen, and she goes like, I think she says something like, "Go blow John some more," and Alexis is like, "What do you like?" It was so
And Emily's like,
petty.
"You're a friend. You're a friend. You're a friend."
Yes,
Yes,
that's the type of petty drama I
totally.
want, and I'm not
Yeah.
getting that with
And it's like,
Gretchen.
and it's like, we had that moment where Tamra brought Joe to Heather's party where Gretchen and Slade were. And I understand the instinct of not giving Tamara the reaction that she wants by bringing Joe. But like, that's also, if you're Gretchen, an opportunity for a moment is being served up on a silver platter for you right there. You know what I mean? To call out Tamra, go over and be nice to Joe, whatever it is. Like, but she didn't engage at all. She just talked about it with Jen and whatever his face is in the corner. You know what I mean? Like, it just she didn't take the opportunity.
No, 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 and Gretchen, you're
Yeah,
back, and you want to be able to
act
give
like it.
moments. Act like you want the gig. And listen, what we saw in the super trailer that her and Tamara get into it, fine, definitely want to see that. But if I was Gretchen's producer, I would have said, that's expected. Give us
Hmm.
something unexpected. And that's why on my podcast, I gave Shannon so much credit last season for saying, Alexis here, let me talk to her. And Shannon went up to
Right.
Alexis because
Totally.
Shannon loves Shannon or hate her. Shannon knew this is a moment and I'm going to
Uh huh.
seize it.
Absolutely. So we feel very good about the state of OC. This can
Yes.
keep rolling. Yep. Totally. All right. The other one that's airing right now is Real Housewives of Miami. I think it's having
Mhm.
another pretty much a great season. We have our first big new addition in Stephanie for the first time
Mhm.
really since the reboot. Dr. Nicole is not here. How are you feeling halfway through the season? We just got the mid-season trailer.
No, listen, I think Miami is super underrated. I've always said that. I love the show. I love the women. They're real friends. You could tell
Hmm.
they're
Yeah.
like, they're really friends. You can tell they're really hurt when
Yes.
each other does something badly. And most importantly, they want it. They want the show to succeed. And that's why I don't mind when a show gets put on pause. Maybe not 7 years, but
Yes. Yeah, but
you
it's
know,
it's like they had the taste of it and then it got taken away, and
yeah,
then you work harder for it when it comes back.
yeah, and you don't take it for granted. Hey Jersey. So for me, which we'll get into that later, I'm sure.
Hmm.
But I think it's a great season so far. I love Stephanie. I think Stephanie's a great housewife. Listen, I love a grossly rich woman. I with a private plane to like get her dogs from the baby.
Right.
I could listen. Stephanie doesn't have to do anything else but show me her lifestyle. And no shade, guys. I'll be here for it. But I appreciate the fact that she just happens to be outspoken. She has an opinion. Are her fashions a little bit matronly? Sure.
Yeah, and Larsa pointed that out.
Yeah,
That she dresses
it's
preppy.
it's very St. John, It's the tweeted skirt that goes past the kneecap.
Mm.
Not what I want to see, but I appreciate that's who she is, and I love
Sure.
Stephanie for that. So I'm loving this season, and my heart goes out to Gertie. I think Gertie's
Yeah.
having. I don't. I well, I'll save that for later, but. I was gonna say I don't know what's going on with the way they're treating Gertie, but you know,
Yeah,
I have an
it's just to
idea.
me it's giving alliance. To me, it's giving
Yeah.
a big factor is that Nicole's not there to sort of be her bridge to the rest of the group, and now it's
Hmm.
just like she feels very isolated, and it's honestly hard. It's sad to watch her. And I had her on the show recently, and she got emotional
I
talking about the
saw
Julia
that.
situation. Yeah, it was a
No, the Michael Kors situation with
the
Isaac.
Isaac Mizrahi. Yeah,
I'm
yeah, that
sorry.
was
I was like, let's mix that. Sorry, Michael Kors. Isaac was. I
Isaac
was.
Mizrahi. Yeah,
Yes. Hey, Michael Kors, I love you. Not you. Isaac Mizrahi, who I love too, but I
that was a bad moment.
I don't I don't get it.
Hmm.
And I I was talking to someone recently because I sometimes have to check myself,
Hmm.
Gibson, to be like, okay, are you too close to the show? Are you
Totally,
too close
totally.
to the girls to where you have blinders on? And 99% of the people in my world are like, no, they're treating Gertie pretty badly. But one person said to me, they said, I just think Gertie's so annoying. And you don't see that. I think she's annoying. And I'm like, I can see why you would think that because she's confident, over the top, and whatever. I said, but does that warrant a drink getting thrown at her, and does it warrant isolation? Like
Yeah, exactly.
I don't,
Yeah,
I don't, I don't get it.
it feels like the women have basically decided they don't like her. And like again, you don't have to like everybody. Like you can not like Gertie and also see that she's being treated poorly and that she did not deserve a water thrown on her. That there, no none of the women defended her in that moment. Like you can not like her, think she's annoying, whatever. Like I see why you would think that as well. Like she's not everybody's cup of tea, but that doesn't so water being thrown on her is okay. No, it's not. And I think that
Hmm.
other what would you say, Carlos? I'm curious because I think some of the people who were defending Julia throwing the water, they're like, well, things have been thrown in the past. Water gets thrown in the past. Glasses get thrown. What's your response to that sort of defense of it?
I understand it because it's like raising children. You can't discipline one person,
Mm,
one child in this case, for this action, and your other child does not get disciplined for the same thing. So I get it in terms of we've seen this before. It's par for the course when it comes to reality television. I do understand all of that logically, right? It still doesn't make it okay.
yeah.
Especially like there were people who made excuses for Kenya Moore getting dragged at the reunion. I just don't think there's ever an excuse for things to go that far. I
Hmm.
understand that things get heated and I understand that we all make mistakes. But I will never be somebody who feels like someone deserves
Right.
to get a drink thrown in their face. And I watched the scene multiple times because I had to recap it. And Gertie didn't do anything that I think would warrant someone like Isaac Mizrahi to say, I believe he said, if I'm not mistaken, I'm glad she did it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad you threw the drink on that woman, is what he said, which is
And then to
not
say
it.
that, and that
Yeah.
woman, her name
Hmm.
is Gertie.
Her name is Gertie. Yep, exactly. And
Not cool.
yeah, and I also think that the audience reaction to it kind of shows that the appetite for that behavior is different than it was 10 years ago. And you know what I mean? So it's like times change as well. And so like just because something was taken as okay 12 years ago, whatever it was, even 5 years ago, if viewers don't want to see that, they don't want to see that and they don't have an appetite for it. So yeah, I think that's the one thing that like it's kind of a shadow over the season. But other than that, I think the season's they're having a great season. Miami.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Who would you want to see get a mojito? Adriana, Marisol, Kiki.
All three.
All three. Okay.
Is you know what's so interesting? And I listen, I actually agree with Twitter. Shocker on this one.
Okay.
I think the friends of are more activated than the cat.
But Carlos, does it point to
Ah
your point of they want it? You know what I mean? Like they have something to work
yes.
for. So like the people who have
Uh
mojitos almost take it for granted, and the ones that want it are
uh
working overtime, which you know what I mean?
I can't see Marisol not on the show. Like
I can't see Marisol. I can't see Adriana.
I can't see Adriana. I can't see Kiki. I need
Kiki.
all three of my girls.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure to see Kiki's personal story this
Hmm.
season.
I love to see it.
Um, Listen, it's a small cast. They have like what six? Is this five or six?
Six full time, three friends, so nine total.
I mean, everybody's activated for sure. I don't think anyone needs to go. And obviously
I
nine
don't.
housewives is too much.
I don't need Julia next season.
Oh,
I don't need it.
oh, Gibson Johns, do
I don't
tell. What's
need it. I just don't need it. I just think I don't really enjoy her, honestly. So
Gibson
that,
Johns? I'm
that's a change I would
gagging.
make. Give Kiki her
Oh,
mojito. I think give Kiki her mojito. That's what I think.
oh, kick.
Because I think
Yeah.
Kiki has sort of her presence has built on the show every single season, and so for it to continue to build, and I also just think that like obviously the producers in Bravo know how much the fans want these three women to have a mojito. If they give one of them a mojito, it would give them so much goodwill. It would be such a
Mhm.
moment. It would be major, major.
Yes. You know what's so funny? Now that I'm thinking about it, I think the only one who doesn't want mojito will probably be Marisol. I think
Mm,
Marisol is fine dipping in and out. I think because, her amazing mother, who we all loved, is in heaven. And I think she really enjoys her husband being married.
married three
So
times to the same person.
yeah, I
Mhm.
think I think she's like I think she looks at Miami Housewives like this is fun,
Mm,
and she doesn't want to get her full life involved.
everything
So
in there. That makes sense.
yeah, but yeah, Kiki and Adriana for
Adriana.
sure.
Yeah. All right. Now we'll get into the one that
No, no, no,
finished.
no, 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 no. We have to talk about the seating chart.
Oh, okay. That just came out today. All right, let's do it. So, okay, my read on the seating. First of all, I was shocked at the seating chart. Carlos is cracking up. I was shocked at the seating chart. But does it tell us just where the rest of the season's going because it's only halfway through? What do you think it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild.
I stared at it for like 60 seconds. Because, listen, I like, I have my readers,
Right, right.
like,
Okay.
I'm like
A
this
little
Gibson,
closer look.
well, I'm like, what's going on here? You know,
Am I really seeing this right now?
right.
Yeah.
Because, okay, my prediction in my head was Gertie and Julia first
Me too.
chair.
Hmm.
That was my prediction. Um, when I saw Stephanie and it's Alex. I always get a. It's an
Alexia.
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 Thank you. It's not Alexis. Alexia. I love Alexia. I said this, and y'all can read me for it's fine. I think Alexia is like the face of the show.
She
My
is.
opinion.
I think so
Fine.
too. I agree with
Okay.
that.
Okay. Cool. So to me, she's like Giselle, Nene, Teresa. Like I think whatever. Meaning she always deserves first share in my head because I think she's a face of
Hmm.
the
I
show.
would never argue with that. Yeah.
Okay, okay, cool. So her being there, fine. Stephanie surprised me for
Hmm.
sure. And then I was surprised because again, I'm only watching what we've seen so far. Stephanie next to
Lisa.
Lisa. I'm
Mm.
like, they got into it. I'm confused. Gertie having last chair. Shocked.
Mm.
Then on the
Yeah.
opposite, you have Alexia.
Alexia.
Okay, fine. Larsa. I think Larsa's number two in terms of face of the show. Fine with that.
Hmm.
Then Julia, I'm like, where is this season going? So I have a theory.
Okay.
Because Stephanie was, in my opinion, a great get to get someone that wealthy to say yes to
Mm.
doing that show is a huge get. And my theory is Stephanie got first chair because Stephanie is who the universe of Real Housewives, who they want cast on every single show. They want the uber wealthy housewife who has a private jet and getting back to what we saw with like Adrienne
Mm.
Maloof, Camille
Got it.
Grammer, like those days. And I think Stephanie represents that.
So you view it as like a vote of confidence in what she represents for like the future of the show, basically.
Yeah, I think that's the
Yeah.
only thing that makes sense to me because I'm
Hmm.
watching the season, and although I think Steph is a great addition, I'm shocked she got first chair. But if we're talking about brand, if I'm talking to advertisers about
Mm.
Miami Housewives, I'm breaking up Stephanie.
Mm. Yeah, that's a good theory, I think.
Yeah.
It's just wild for a first season housewife like that hasn't had like anything major 7 episodes in to get that chair. It's really wild.
Yeah, because
Wild.
think about it. Her predecessors are Kenya Legend Moore,
Hmm.
um, Monica
I was
Garcia,
about to say it was Monica first seat. Yep.
uh-huh. Um,
That was,
Gibson's that it?
I don't know. I don't.
Leah McSweeney.
Was she first chair?
He was first chair.
Wow. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I mean, and those women had like really kind of explosive first seasons,
Yeah.
and or in Monica's case, only season. So, all right. Well, that's Miami. We'll see. Let's see if the second half of the season sort of explains it. Maybe it will. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah.
Real Housewives of Atlanta, a show we used to help produce.
Yay! Yes.
Season 16 just finished.
Uh-huh.
I don't think we talked during the season or kind
We
of did any. I don't
didn't.
think we did any episodes.
No.
Um, where did you land after the reunion finished like a week or two ago?
Oh, I'm very pleased with it. I'm
Yeah,
very happy with
good.
it.
Me too.
I'm very happy with it. It's been a long time coming for the fans and the cast to have a season where we all felt like this was a solid season and a sort of comeback to what, in my opinion, can be a reset of like, all right, we
Hmm.
got the right cast for it. Listen, before this season even aired, to have the scandal involving
Hmm.
Kenya and Britt provided this season to have tons of eyeballs to it, and they did not disappoint. So I was very happy, and I honestly loved the new additions. Angela Oakley's the MVP. I
Uh-huh.
love Shamia. I love me some Kelly. So no, I thought it was great.
Yeah, it's like it was the right mix of old and new and refreshed, but still has the DNA of the show. And um, the fact that they're jumping back into filming and this month apparently, like that just shows you that they did it right. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we're not waiting another year and a half. Like we're not some of these other shows that we're waiting a long time. The fact that Atlanta's jumping back in, such a good sign. And I also just love that it was like part of the conversation. Like I feel like the past couple of seasons of Atlanta, we kind of nobody was really talking about it in a big way, and it just this season felt like people wanted to talk about it, and it
Hmm.
it, it was it was a water cooler kind of situation with some of the issues, and that just tells you that it connected with people, and it sort
Yes.
of it found its new it kickstarted the new era in the right way. It really did.
Oh, for sure, for sure. So no, shout out to the producers, the cast, the crew.
Hmm.
Like, stellar job this season.
Do you think that so obviously Britt's not coming back, and we know that Kenya's not coming back? Do you think there's hope for Kenya in like a season 18 to come back, or do you think that
Yeah.
it's okay? Yeah, yeah,
I think there's hope for Kenya. Look, I think there's just a lot of legality just
yeah.
based on that situation. That's my opinion. In terms of why she may not be back this season, I'm still hopeful she will be.
Hmm.
But I think come season 18, if that's something she wants and they want, I don't see why it wouldn't happen. Kenya has proven to be a force multiplier on that show.
Hmm.
And I listen, I unfortunately I do feel like Kenya is still underrated, and that makes me sad because I know how much blood, sweat, and tears she's given
Hmm.
to that show and life too.
Absolutely. I really
Yeah.
liked your episode with Crystal and Cynthia when
Oh
you guys recorded
yeah.
together. Yeah, and you and Cynthia, you and Crystal really sort of buried the hatchet in a way. But what did you think of Cynthia in the friend role? And off of that, are there any other women who you would like to see kind of play a similar kind of return as a friend situation for season 17?
Yeah, and again, this is why I always tell people you got to give credit where credit is due to whoever decision it was to put Cynthia in that role of sort of like this grand dame. You know what I
Yes,
mean? This
totally.
hen mother, and I think she did such a fabulous job being that person. And for me, it opened up the conversation of, do we want our OGs or vets to come back full time, or
Mm.
do we just want them back in a friend role? And for me, I want the friend role for the OGs. I want Sheree to come back as a friend.
Yes.
I
Yes.
want I want Nene obviously to come back as a friend. Nene and Cynthia and Crystal had that conversation. Nene was like, I mean, it's so many words. She's like, but I'm Nene, so for me to be a friend, I don't know. But I will say this: as somebody who started season one with the OGs of Teresa,
Hmm.
Nene, Sheree, Kim Zolciak, what I can say is, and I'll stick to Atlanta. What I can say is, I just don't think Nene and Sheree would give that same level of story, because it's a different time, and I'd rather see Nene and Sheree come in, be good, be met.
Hilarious.
You know what I mean? Like I'd rather see all of that, so that. And listen, I know this may sound weird, but I do mean this. For me, it puts them in the position to be heralded as the godmother. And to me, OGs being friends of gives them a step above the rest. Does that
Yeah.
make sense to you?
No, 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 it completely makes sense to me. And it one, the stakes are lower, so they're gonna blow past the expectations regardless. But also two, we look at Miami. Adriana and Marisol are OGs of that show, and they are fantastic friends of because they still feel very empowered. They feel ownership over the show. They may not have the peach or the mojito, but like they can do if Nini or Sheree came back as a friend, they could be on every single episode. They could have as much drama as they wanted to with people, but they could also just like be in the background or on the side making hilarious comments and providing commentary. Like Cynthia had some incredible confessionals this season. And I think that because she just felt free to just narrate it and just share her opinion on things, and she was involved in a lot of conversations on every kind of side of
Mm-hmm.
every issue. And any OG could play that role, and I think that that's totally accurate. I think that that's correct. Like there's nothing worse than somebody returning and it not living up to the expectation because they don't have that much going on, or they were nervous to perform, and
Mm-hmm.
the friend of lowers that sort of entry point for people like that to return. I think it's a
Mm-hmm.
great point.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I just think, listen, I want to see Nene, Sheree, Kim Zolciak always be heralded
Hmm.
as we're the godmothers. And I think not having a full-time role puts them in that position, because I always, as a viewer, I want to see them pop in
Hmm.
and be happy and ecstatic that they're there. It's sort of like when Heather Locklear would be a guest starring role on Melrose Place, and you were happy every time Amanda, honey,
Totally.
came into. You're like, Amanda's in the episode. I want that for Kim, Sheree, and
Yeah,
Nene.
I feel that.
I
I
don't
feel
I don't
that.
want them to like going home, and I don't. You guys are
No,
bigger
yeah,
than that
I
to
get
me.
it.
To
I
me. To me.
totally.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
last question about Atlanta before we move on to some of the ones that are just in production, so there's less to say. The rumor is that Kay Michelle is going to be joining next season. Do
Yes.
you have opinions and thoughts on her joining?
I worked with her on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, and I worked with her on a show we did for Lifetime called My Killer Body with K
Okay.
Michelle. I am all the way here for it. K
Okay.
Michelle is hilarious, and I think she's going to inject some comedy back into that show too.
Okay. I love that. I love to hear that. All right. The next one that's going to premiere is Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. We don't really know that much about the season. We know that it's all the same cast. Um, I'm obviously so excited. I think they're the best in the game right now. The cast seems to have shifted again a little bit from what we have gotten tiny hints of. How are you feeling? We need it. We need it.
Shout out to my raindrops.
Okay.
I gave up on the show. Um, oh, I didn't tell you this. Okay, really quickly.
Jaw on the floor, Carlos.
I know I gave up on Salt Lake City. So I listen. I'm gonna give the raindrops their props. I know Gibson gag.
Okay.
I love me some Jen Shaw. So Jen Shaw to me was sort of like Leanne Locken from Dallas. Like,
It's a good comparison.
there's no show without Leanne Locken on Dallas. Okay, so for me, and it's been proven. So for me, when Jen Shaw got sent to camp, hi,
With Elizabeth
I was.
Holmes and Ghislaine Maxwell. Yep.
Right.
Okay. Wild. Gagged at that.
Wait, all three are in the same
They're in this.
facility?
Yeah, all three. All three. Uh-huh.
Where's my cameras? Okay, fine.
Hmm.
I gave up on the show. I'm like, well, without Jen, is the show going to be good? And then the raindrop said, Carlos, they got this woman named Monica Garcia. You got to watch
Oh,
it.
yes.
And then I watched it. I'm like, this is the best TV I've seen in years.
Hmm.
Then Monica Garcia didn't come back. And I was like, I give up on it again. Then the raindrop said, Carlos, they got somebody named Brawin. You have to watch it. And I'm like, oh, fine. So I'll say this. I never thought in a million years that I would be a stan for Salt Lake City.
Hmm.
And I got a chance to meet all of the girls except Meredith and Heather at Kathy Hilton's Christmas party. And when I say to you, Gibson, and you met them before,
Hmm.
they all are exactly who they are on
Yep.
television. And Carlos King has always been a Mary Cosby stan. I am also an Angie K. Baby, I want Angie
Yeah.
K. I am
Stars.
obsessed with
Star
Angie
power.
K.
Oh my God. I mean, Carlos, I hope you've learned your lesson not to give up on these women. I hope
I
you've learned your
know.
lesson. Like it's just
I did.
they mix it up every year so fucking well. And like, yeah, they might not all go back super long before the show, but like at this point, they're so connected in a way that like just I don't know. There's just something about that show, man, that just for
I
me, it's
know.
just like head and shoulders above everything else.
It is, and you know what it is. They remind me of the early days of Potomac,
Mm,
which those girls were hungry
hmm.
and they wanted it. And for me, that's exactly what Salt Lake
Salt
City
Lake.
gives to me.
Yeah.
They
They're
want
hungry.
it.
Yeah.
They're hungry and I just think it's the best.
And in some ways, like I think about we're gonna go into Potomac actually right now, but like the Potomac had to prove itself as a show because it was sort of I feel like people it was sort of that was sort of the underrated show for a
Mm-hmm.
while there. Like they proved themselves from the beginning, I think. But like
Mm-hmm.
Salt Lake City, like they're they sort of have all studied the Housewives playbook, and so like they know what they're living up to. I think that's top of mind for them in a way that works.
Yeah.
It just works.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they're funny. And they're all funny.
yeah. All right, Real Housewives of Potomac.
Yes.
They're deep into filming. Have you heard anything? How are you feel? Have you heard like what's the word on the street when it comes to Potomac?
It's funny. I haven't heard anything which to
Okay,
me is good. Cause I like,
me too. I agree.
listen, I can easily pick up the phone and find anything I want to, right? But I always like to watch these shows along with the audience because
Hmm.
I don't know. It's my own thing. I like to feel like
And
I'm
you know
getting the
too much
information.
too. There's something. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't want to know too many
I get
things. And
it.
it's funny because I know everybody involved on the show. And when we're out just talking shit, um, they'll say to me like, I know you don't care. Not care, not care, not care, not care. I know you don't want to know, but
But
I cannot wait for you to see it. And I'm like, okay, fine. Just
okay.
give me that. Don't overhype it for me or undersell it. So, with all of that being said, it's a season without Karen
Mm-hmm.
because she's in camp.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm curious to what that feels like, but we have Kobe Bryant, who I love, and I love Stacy. I'm sad
Uh-huh.
that Mia isn't back. So it's going to be something to see. I'm curious how a season would be without Mia and Karen.
Okay, but how do you feel about Miss Monique Samuels being back in the
Now,
mix?
yes, a great question. Look, if I'm able to get the insight of what is going on between her and Giselle, I think
Uh-huh.
there was a somebody's camera phone filming their meetup at a restaurant. Want to
Okay.
watch that for sure.
Oh, I'd kill for
So
that.
yeah, and then we have KK, Jazzy's in the mix.
Jazzy.
So
I saw Jazzy did something shady where some fan page posted about it. She reposted a group photo on her Instagram story, but she cropped out Stacy.
ooh,
She like dragged it to the side so that Stacy wasn't in the picture
I
anymore.
love it. I love
Yeah,
it.
that's the kind of shit that like I just need that little hint. You know what I mean? That little hint
That's
that
it.
something's going down. Exactly. Exactly. So I'm excited for Potomac. I feel
Me
like
too.
that reunion just felt like it unlocked something in that show because
Ah,
they didn't have Karen and they didn't have Mia for half of it and it was still everything.
yeah,
Um,
Giselle did a good job that reunion.
yes. And so did Wendy. Wendy and her sort of unlocked a really great
Yes,
dynamic and
and
yeah.
Eddie.
Yeah, oh, and Eddie. Thank you. Thank you for bring Eddie out. Yep, thank you Eddie. Uh-huh. Thank you Eddie. Um, Carlos, we don't know much about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. They're also deep into filming. We know
Mhm.
that Erica just got some bad news. She's going to trial over the $25 million she spent or whatever it was. We know Garcelle's not coming back. We know that we have Rachel Zoe joining the show.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on kind of the Beverly Hills mix right now?
Listen, I thought last season wasn't the greatest
No,
season.
it wasn't.
Okay, so we're on the same page there. Although I love Dorit versus Kyle, but I felt like it was great for the first like 5 episodes.
Yeah, and then it became repetitive a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't care anymore.
Hmm.
But and I love Bose. Love me some
Great
Bose.
addition.
Great addition. I will say this. Beverly Hills, I do feel like some of the cast got comfortable. The way some of the cast of Atlanta got comfortable years ago when they were number one.
Mm,
Beverly Hills, I believe is still the number one rated
I
franchise of
think
them
you're right.
all. Okay. And I think the girls got comfortable. Dorit needs somebody to work with. And Kyle, who obviously is the face of that show, and who happens to be my favorite housewife. I do think Kyle is going to have to let us in more.
Hmm.
And I think the Beverly Hills girls can't rely anymore on giving us one storyline per season. I think the stakes are too high. And my advice for those girls would be you have to give us more personal story.
Hmm.
What makes Salt Lake City so great to me is the comedy. I don't think the Beverly Hills girls are funny.
Beverly Hills is not a funny show. It's
Okay,
not.
okay,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
They're not funny. Um, so in exchange of the glitz and glam, I do think if they look at why they became number one, and I could easily tell you why. Thank you, Erica Jane. The scandal obviously isn't
Hmm.
great for her,
Lisa
but
Rinna.
Lisa Rinna, Erica Jane, Denise Richards at the time, whether or not she slept with Brandy Glanville, Kim
Hmm.
Richards. It was seeing the wealthy women go through a public scandal
Hmm.
is what made that show number one. And Dorit's divorce isn't as it doesn't compare to
It's more
what.
predictable too. It's like it's not as shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, Kyle and Mauricio is a big story and it had some legs, but without us still today, can you believe that they got to wait 3 seasons without letting us know what happened? That's
I mean,
I'll leave it at that.
yeah, that's Kyle needs to give up something. She needs to give it. I love Kyle too, but she needs to give us a substantial morsel of something, whether that's related to the country singer or related to Mauricio and moving it forward. Something has to give. Otherwise, like we're going on another season of like, come on, girl. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm a little concerned, a little,
Okay. Well,
because
we also have
but
Denise. We have Denise filming with them again about her divorce.
yeah, but you know what's so interesting about that? It only works when you're able to get both sides. Because you get like when Peter and
Mm,
Cynthia, Apollo, Phaedra, Teresa, Joe, like you were able to get both
hmm.
sides of like what
That's
happened,
true.
what's going on. So for Denise just to say this is what happened, and we're like, okay, appreciate the info,
Mm,
but what else do we have here?
right. Right.
Um,
That makes
and
sense.
Rachel Zoe was going through a divorce, and it's like you just got here.
I'm excited for Rachel Zoe's energy because I loved her show back in the day. So
Obsessed.
but I don't, I'm just curious how she works in an ensemble. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know how she is with a girl, with a group of girlfriends.
Me neither.
Hmm.
It's going to be
I did,
interesting because
I did see a photo of her and Dorit holding hands walking in the Hamptons together. So
oh,
maybe
good.
because Kyle and Dorit went with Rachel Zoe to the Surf Lodge in Montauk. So maybe there's something there. Maybe there's
So
something
they're
there.
getting along because the rumor was Dorit and that Rachel Zoe was not following Dorit on Instagram, I think.
Well, they clearly did a little mini cast, a little mini trip to the Hamptons, and Dorit and Kyle were the only ones there, so they must have
Okay.
figured it out. Last couple, no update on RHONY on Real Housewives of New York. There's absolute, we haven't heard a peep of anything publicly.
Hmm.
Um, we had Carol return to Bravo. She buried the hatchet with Andy. We had
Love
that.
Carol. Love
Um,
that moment too.
is there anything to say about Real Housewives of New York right now?
No.
Well, I guess we
No.
leave it at that. I guess we leave it at that.
No.
Okay, let me ask you one question. One
Okay.
question. Producer's hat on, which I know you always have on.
Okay.
If you were to cast one type of person, one or maybe pull from one of their friend groups existing, who do you think would be the most promising or like the best direction to kind of cast in? Because you could go famous, you could go socialite, you could go one of Aaron's friends, one of Sai's friends. What do you is none of that works for you?
No. Listen, I want to say this. It has nothing to do with the girls. I think all the
Hmm.
girls are fine. It's it for me is this. Um, I believe New York City only works if you give me some of the OGs back. I
Hmm.
don't. You could bring me. This is no shade. You can bring me Julia Fox and her girls. You can bring me the richest woman on the Upper East Side and her friends. I don't care unless I see Dorinda and Luann. And
Hmm.
I need to see
Yeah, they
what
are
made Atlanta
Roni.
but what made Atlanta work is the fact that they had Portia and
Hmm.
Kenya, two vets who came together season 5. Without that,
I get it.
I struggle
You don't
watching
care.
it.
Yeah,
That's
you
it's
don't
not,
care. Yeah,
and I don't care.
that's not no. Not no. Um, Real Housewives of New Jersey. It was very quiet around Jersey for a very long time. Carlos is hugging his mic. He's caressing it. It was very quiet around in the Jersey front for a very long time there. And then all of a sudden this week, we get two little things. Andy says that quote unquote we're close to figuring it out, and Matt Rogers got it out of him on Watch What Happens Live. And then we also had this like a report come out somewhere, I don't even know where, that Teresa and Melissa are ready to come back to the table to film together. That those two plus Margaret and Dolores are the ones coming back because they're listed for BravoCon in the fall. But then Melissa commented that was fake news. So we got some updates, kind of.
Listen, one thing about me, I don't change my opinion.
Okay. Strong opinion, strongly held. Okay.
Jersey works
Hmm.
because of Teresa. Now, who would what would Carlos King do in this case, right?
Hmm.
I gave you my opinion on Jersey. I'll give
WWCKD. Hmm.
right. What would Carlos King do? I gave you my opinion on New York, what I would do. I'll tell you what I would do if I handled Jersey.
Hmm.
I would bring back Teresa and Dolores
And that's it.
and cast new girls around them.
Hmm.
I would have Melissa and Joe do something where they're always a part of the Bravo family, Peacock family. I will
Doing wife
always have
swap.
them.
Yeah.
Wife swap, some specials here and there. Melissa is gorgeous. She's fashionable. I honestly, because I know the world thinks I hate Melissa and I don't. I could see Melissa being a part of like what they do with like the sort of like red carpet Grammys.
Oh, like the
You know,
panels they have. Yeah.
yeah, I could see Melissa killing it, giving her opinion on the fashions of the
Hmm.
celebrities. I think Melissa would be fantastic. Listen, the sad part is nobody's gonna pick this one up Gibson. But if I said something opposite, that would have been
Oh yeah, of
the news
course.
story next week. But I digress. I would keep Melissa and Joe in the NBC family. Um, I still stand by. I do not want to see Teresa Melissa again. I just don't want to see it. At least for a year.
Hmm.
I need to see what a show was like without those two together. For me, but
Hmm.
keep Melissa in the NBC family.
Got it. And I would
What
do
about
the
you,
opposite. I would
Gibson?
do the opposite. I would keep Melissa, Dolores, Margaret, because I think when you keep Melissa, you can keep more of them. That's my personal thing. And then you put Teresa and Louis on their own spinoff with their family, keep them in the NBC, Bravo,
Okay.
Peacock family. And for at least a year, let's see Melissa, Margaret, Dolores, all of them, kikiing, bringing in some newbies. That's what I think they should do. But you know what? I just at this point though, Carlos, I just want a substantial update. I just want like, hey, we're getting back into production in February or whatever the fuck it is. That's what I want. Like I'm just
Hmm.
tired of the waiting game. It's been a very long time, and I think that I think everyone's being so dramatic. At this point, I'm like, is it that serious? We have to wait a year and a half?
I
You know?
know.
I'm like,
I'm shocked.
it's been a long time for and nothing substantial to leak. It's just crazy. But
I do miss them on TV. I will say
yeah,
that.
I just feel like Andy saying we're close. That makes me think that they'll say something on BravoCon because they can make a huge splash for them. They know that's a highly anticipated piece of news. They like to make splashes around BravoCon. That's the point of BravoCon. That's my prediction that we'll
And
get news there.
let your audience know who from Jersey is going to be at BravoCon this November. From Jersey.
I think it's Teresa, Melissa, Margaret, and Dolores.
Yeah.
So
Hi.
clock that. Um,
That what you made,
yeah,
guys.
exactly,
That
exactly, exactly.
and tell us your theory just based on that
Yes.
information alone.
Hmm.
Okay.
Carlos, last question for you.
Yeah.
We have one more franchise on the horizon. Real Housewives of Rhode Island.
Oh yeah.
And you
Yeah.
and I have not spoken since that was announced, since we've seen Dolores filming with them a little bit. We don't know anything. I'm glad we don't know anything. But I'm always excited about a new franchise. Do you feel the same
Mhm.
way? Yeah.
Oh, for sure, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. Yes, yeah, for sure. Listen, I'll say this again. You could not have told me Carlos King would be obsessed with Salt Lake City when Salt Lake
Right.
City was announced. I was like, Salt Lake City. Ugh.
Uh-huh.
So, Rhode Island, of course, sounds, but it's about the women, and I'm
Hmm.
looking forward to seeing what that cast brings. And I like the fact that they're having somebody we're familiar with, at least give us an introduction. So Dolores
Yeah.
being a friend of to that show, maybe it's one episode, maybe it's a couple, we don't know. But I think that was a
It's
smart move
smart.
just to get the buzz going.
Absolutely. Well, Carlos, that's the state of every Real Housewives franchise. Thanks for your service. Reality with the King, you've been killing it. You still continue to have such great bookings and amazing interviews that make the rounds. Do your plugs before we sign off here.
Yeah, so Reality with the King is wherever you can find your podcast. We recap all of the reality shows in addition to having reality guests with my one-on-one interviews. And I recently started doing a weekly reality crime stories. So it's crimes based on reality stars. So we just talked about Tom Girardi getting
Okay,
sentenced to 7 years in prison. And we just did an episode about Denise Richards' divorce and how messy it's
it's very
getting
messy.
and all the accusations. So tune into that. That's every Thursday on
Awesome,
Reality with the King.
awesome. I love that. I'm gonna turn into that.
Yeah.
Carlos, we gave the people what they wanted today. We recorded together,
Yes.
and it was. I hope it's what everyone expected from us. I really appreciate you taking the time, and we'll do it again soon. I'm sure.
Thank you, Gibson. Good seeing
You
you.
too. I want to gab.